Welcome back, everybody, to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community. I'm your host, Nico, and join with me today, as always, is my co-host, Chris, for this 50th episode. What's going on, man?
Not much. How are you? Big 50. Woohoo.
Big 50. That's right. Yeah, we're doing it up big, doing the same show we always do here this week, guys. Nothing special planned.
Oh, giant sized issue.
No giant size anniversary issue for you guys. No, it'll be good. A good opportunity to talk about this week's comics as always. But yeah, 50 episodes. It's pretty awesome. We're just under a year. That means because we do these things weekly of doing this show. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So you done yet, Chris? You tapping out or what?
I'm still going strong. Liking buying comics, liking the stories. Might have some news for January. Might have to spread my comics into what I bought and what I read, though.
All right, there you go. So making some big cuts. I was about to say, if you're at least you're still enjoying reading them, you may not be enjoying spending. On
Well, I was looking through November. November's not looking too bad.
So yeah, that's good. Yeah. Hey, listen, it goes in waves. I find sometimes too. Like I've been dropping a lot of things actively lately too, and as you both have been trying to, right? And
I've been trying to. I looked for January. I was gonna cut a whole bunch of stuff. Then I still got to get this. Still got to get that, and ended up with another big list. Well, I haven't put the list in yet, but
right,
I'm gonna try.
That's what I mean. But I think it's sometimes good to clear the decks in the sense that a few months might go by and a brand new bunch of new series might start. And if you do want to sample those new series, you should cut things down now. You know what I mean? Like that's the way I always look at it. Is because sometimes you may read a few issues of something, be like, this is no good, no more, drop it. And it always makes way for something new. You can't be reading everything, right? So anyways, that being said, guys, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can listen to me and Chris's comic woes on a weekly basis. And spoiler warning, we are going to be talking about the comics today that we read this past week. We are going to be showing off some of the art, so be forewarned. So like some of the big reveals of stuff we try to steer away from if we can, but we got to discuss the books, right? So it happens sometimes. Big things will get spoiled. But yeah, give us the thumbs up button, hit us up in the comments, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. No thumbs down, Chris. What are you doing?
No, thumbs up and hit the button.
Okay, I thought you were going like this. I was like, no.
Hey, any interaction is well received.
That's fair. And this week we're going to be talking about the new comics for the week of November 2nd, 2022. Chugging along here, getting closer to the new year. And as I mentioned, guys, stay tuned. There will be a special pre-recorded episode where we talk about some of our favorite highlights of the past year and announce some awards of some of the stuff we read. I've actually been going through the episodes right now, Chris, writing down all of our favorites of each week, trying to get that collated together for you so I can send you the list to make things easier on yourself. So it'll be
like Oracle over there, just going through all the data.
Listen, and there's also a lot of show notes I've been missing lately. So anyways, moving on. I tried to get that all updated for you guys. So but anyways, without further ado, Chris.
All right, let's talk comics.
Lots of comics. Yeah, comics. Cheers. That's where I'm not yet anyway. All right. What we got here? First up on the docket today, Batman 129. Batman 129. Yeah, I got my copy right here. Where we last left off, this was both me and Chris's favorite book of the week that week when it did come out, and it was a big one, and we both gave it a 5 out of 5 rating. So Chris, what did you think of the follow-up issue here?
Yeah, I'm still liking this. Batman takes it to fail safe here. I got some Aquaman business in there. You got Batman fighting in space. I don't want to it's hard to describe the story in there. Batman's doing his Batman thing, trying to stay one step ahead of Failsafe, where Failsafe can figure out all his moves. Looks like he does a good job in there, but at the end, he seems to be lost in space a little bit.
Yeah, I thought this was a good follow up to the first one. Maybe not as crazy because it kind of peaked. I think it kind of peaked in the storyline as of last issue. Like it kind of, was building to that moment, and now we're seeing it play out. But it was still very, very good. Like I like seeing Batman on the run and out of options. Like that's something we don't see very often. So I think it's like whenever that does happen, it makes for an interesting story. Also, that Aquaman moment was probably my favorite moment out of this issue when Aquaman basically, I guess in the Aquaman books, he's no longer king of Atlantis here at the currently, I guess, and he turns to a bunch of guys and he's like, well, because Batman was hiding out down there. He's like, listen, this failsafe's gonna come for him. You need to like protect him, you know, with your life. Like we can't let him get to him. And they were just like, you're not even our king anymore. Why are we listening to you, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, throw a number out there. He's like, I guarantee you that's more, it's less times than Batman's actually saved the planet for you, like that you don't even know about. He's like, so don't even to start with. He's pretty much just like, don't give me that shit. He's like, this guy has saved your life more times than you know, essentially, right? Like that was a really good scene. Like I thought, I was like, yes, like so you tell him.
Well, you figured Batman almost he figured out that he'd get sold out too, man. He just wanted to buy some time so he could get out of there. Which, you know, when they show up there, ooh, Batman's gone.
Yeah. I just liked how you know what I mean? Like he was holding it down for Batman in that sense.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's, you know, that's my brother, like kind of thing, you know, like he's like, we're going to try our best to like not make it so that he gets attacked, but he already,
Yeah, we're not going to give him up so easy.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it doesn't look good for old Bruce here. The backup was okay. I thought the backup,
okay.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's the El Sabanur origin, I guess, of how it kind of.
Well, I'm happy to learn about him, and I kind of like the art style goes with it. You know, whenever you got that, whatever his name is, he's kind of just grinning in his purple and gray costume there. Kind of, hey, just let me in, Batman. I can take care of him, no problem.
It's not even Al Sabanur. That's something else in comics. It's like the Batman of Zur-En-La or something. I forgot. Even I'm forgetting now, and I know what the name. But yeah, it's not bad. So yeah. So what'd you give this one?
I give this issue a 4. It wasn't like say it wasn't groundbreaking or not groundbreaking. It wasn't like, you know, over the top like the last one, but still good stuff going on.
Yeah, I also give it a 4. I agree with you. Yeah, really, really solid stuff. I'm really enjoying Batman at the moment. I think Zdarsky's doing a great job. So, yeah. All right. So next up, we got Batman Deadly Duo #1. I got this cover here. Chris, I know you said you read it digitally.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, this is Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo #1. Written and art by Mark Silvestri. I think it's colors by Arif Prianto, who I'm not familiar with. Letters Troy Petri. So I guess the big deal here with this book is I think it's a 6-issue miniseries that Mark Silvestri is writing and drawing, one of the Image, you know, co-founders, somebody who has had a lot of success in the past in terms of like the books that he was on, like X-Men. He made a big name for himself. Then he went and did Image stuff. And then he also did like, you know, a lot of the Cyberforce and a lot of these things that came out of like the Image wave he was kind of known for, but he doesn't really do a lot of work these days that we see. And he doesn't do a lot of work for the big two primarily. But you know, this had a backup. Like this was like, they were promoting this as a backup in a lot of the recent DC books me and Chris were reading. And then when we saw it, because we were both kind of like on the fence about it, we are like, wow, the art's really good in this book. Like that kind of got us interested. And I got to tell you, picking up the full issue, I mean, this is like a higher price tag. This is like a $4.99 cover price book. It's a little bit bigger. You know, it's got like the nicer card stock, and it's a black label book, so it's out of continuity. The art is the good thing about this book. I'll tell you, the story was just okay for me. Like it's a very basic Joker story so far, like as far as I'm concerned, but the art was very, very good. Like he hasn't done work in a while that I've seen. He still has it, man. Mark Silvestri. I was very impressed. Like I love the way he cross hatches, like the pencils. He basically shades like his characters. Like he's always had that style. I really, really dig that, the way he shades in and adds like you know what I mean, like depth and stuff to like his like characters with like the actual line work, like everything you could see, like all the meticulous ticking that he does, the kind of like actually shade in like the you know, their faces or like the cape and everything like that. If you look, and then they even have the scans of the actual raw pencils, like some of the pages in the back of this book, to even show it off even more. And you can tell like the amount of work that he put into these pages. He's not phoning this in, guys, like at all. Like I don't know, what did you think, Chris?
Yeah, I thought the art is great, and I like the story too. You know, it's a good comic book story. You know, there's nothing, you know, there's no Frank Miller deep dive on their psyches or anything. It's just good stuff. They're going to try and get forced to team up, and we'll see where it goes. Once you get over the fact that Batman's going to team up with Joker, this guy should just kill Joker on sight. From all I know it's not in continuity, but all the stuff he's done, there's no reason he should. But anyways, that's besides the point. Once you get over that, I think it's great. I'm down for the series, and we'll see where it goes. And what's the enemy? Is there's some Joker hybrid or something?
Yeah, we
That was
don't.
a bit of a swerve. You think he's tracking down the Joker the whole time, and it turns out to be some sort of I don't know, Joker monster or something.
I mean, he draws a great looking Joker, as you can see.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, Chris, I mean, we don't really have the full picture as of yet, but so far, I would say it's like a mistaken identity murder mystery case.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's basically what's playing out here. Like, he goes to track down the Joker, he finds out the Joker is not responsible, and then he finds a bunch of hybrid type of Joker creatures that attack him essentially by the end of the issue. And yeah, that's basically what we know so far. So they didn't even really team up as of yet in this issue, but you know that it's going in that direction because that's the whole premise of this miniseries. But
yeah, didn't Jim Gordon end up in a box or something, or his body parts or something like that? Oh yeah, they take his appendix. Spoiler alert! With the threat of something more vital, but we don't know who's doing it yet.
It kind of reminded me of Seven at some points. You know what I mean? The way he's taking the evidence out of the wall, he's definitely going for a grizzled detective kind of a homicide, dark kind of story type thing. Listen, he wrote it, and I didn't feel that Mark Silvestri was going to be have the best writing chops because a lot of those Image guys didn't. But I thought this was fine. I agree with you, Chris. I think I mean there's nothing wrong with this story. I think it was decent. I just think I think the art is the major highlight of this so far, though. The story is fine, and it's not bad, which is good. But I just think it's you can find some other Batman stories, at least so far. This is one issue in only, but the art is what I'm here for, and the art did not disappoint. So yeah,
no, not at all.
I'm in. I don't know about you. Are you in for this?
Oh yeah, I'm in. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, all right. So what'd you give it then?
I give it a 3.75. I liked it.
Yeah, same. Agreed. We're on the same page today for sure. So 3.75. Right. All right, what do you got next here? Poison Ivy number 6.
Poison Ivy number 6. I think this was supposed to be the end of the run here. Yeah. So I guess it's just the end of the arc. So we got Poison Ivy. She's, I guess, in the final battle with Jason Woodrow, the Floronic Man. And, she's not looking too good there. She seems to be all kind of done up and in dire straits there. And, she's kind of hallucinating Batman, trying to, give her some tips as she's battling or as she's kind of getting choked out or dying there. And then all this while that Jason Woodrow, he's kind of revealing what he's going to do once he kills her. And, she seems to be okay with that, kind of accepting her fate. And then he goes on to say that he's going to go and just kill Harley for fun. This enrages what's her name, Poison Ivy, and then I guess from some of Batman's clues, she brings down the building on him and kills them both. And then to help herself heal, she ends up eating him. However that works out, I guess with the green there, and that's so a lot of that. I don't know if that's a horror image or something, but she's just kind of chomping away on him. And in the meantime, there's still that whole narration that's been going on, since the beginning, where kind of Poison Ivy's just telling her story. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the issue, it's revealed that all that narration was really a letter to Harley about what she's doing and what's going on. And, it really touches Harley there at the end. And I think that was a good, not a swerve, but that was a good reveal, let's say. Mm-hmm. And, the beginning of the story, Poison Ivy, she was on her mission to rid the Earth of everybody. And after this battle with the Floronic Man, she sort of realized that maybe she's better off just trying to help people, and she's going to go after the real bad guys. Now she's kind of accepted her power there and wants to go after, the real people that are causing the problems, which I imagine she's going to be like some eco-warrior now, and that might put her at odds with Harley and her new alliances. So she's basically just explaining what she's going to be up to. So I thought it was a good issue. I liked it. And, the art's good in there. And I thought it was a decent run. And if that was the 6, I think I would have been happy with that. But I guess it's been popular enough that they're gonna plop another 6 on top, and we'll see how it goes.
Right.
I give this issue maybe I'd give it a 4, and this first run maybe a 4.25. I did, it's nothing crazy, but it was still a fun, not fun, but interesting take on Poison Ivy.
Nice. And will you be continuing with this for the next 6, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'll try not to, but freaking these covers keep on coming in. She's a good cover,
Right. Absolutely.
good cover
Character.
feature, let's say.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Gotham City Year One, number 2. By Tom King, Phil Hester. I liked the first issue. I thought it was good. This issue was even better. This was great. I'm really into this. This is again like Batman adjacent. We were following Slam Bradley, who's a private eye in Gotham, and this is back in like I don't know. I forgot what time it is, like 40s or 50. It's old. I mean, like I think they're dealing with Batman's grandparents, essentially, not his parents, but their parent, his parent, his dad's dad, I guess, that we're following in this. And basically, in the first issue, there was a mysterious like woman who dropped off this letter, basically with this whole thing about like giving instructions for like the ransom, the fact that um, one of the Waynes, like his son or kid was taken, and he's trying to get it back for them. And the Waynes are just treating like Slam Bradley like shit, because there's like a whole thing where he goes to their place and they corner him and they think that he's the one that abducted their kid. And meanwhile, he was only kind of being sent on like a wild goose chase by like these letters that he's receiving. He's kind of stuck in the middle of this whole situation. The person who technically hired him, it seems now, is part of this whole charade of like how like pretty much just in cahoots with whomever probably did steal their kid away. And then like they're leaving little pictures of a bat on the letters. So yeah, it's very strange and mysterious at this point, and it's like a hard-boiled crime detective case type stuff going on here. And the Waynes just treat him like shit. And in this one, like again, he gets another note and instructions for him to bring like a ransom, like a bunch of money to this meetup point so they can get it back. And like he's kind of psychoanalyzing him the whole time. This Wayne, I don't know his first name, but like he's kind of like seeing again that like if he's the guy who's kind of working the shit behind the scenes. And he's like, well, listen, if you don't turn out to be the one who's involved, I would like to hire your services in the future, because I'm having some trouble, and in his words, with the Negroes downtown in Gotham. So like I guess because of the time period, again, they're not like very, he's saying that the blacks in this black part of town are not allowing him to actually build what he's trying to build in the city, and they're giving him problems, and there's pushbacks. And obviously this is a time where like white and black relations aren't very good either. And so like there's that whole kind of thing going on to let you know what kind of time period that they're talking about at this point. And then also so they go to the meetup with the ransom money. And then it turns out that like again they're getting the runaround. So Slam's like, listen, like I'm not participating in this. And he goes back to Mr. Wayne there, who kind of forces him upon it. Like he's like, I don't care, give the money over, take the letter, whatever the fuck they're up to, I don't give a shit. Like we need to get my child back. And meanwhile, this woman, again, the mysterious woman that brought him another letter, she like jumps off the building and then starts like running across the rooftop. So she's kind of like a Catwoman type of character in this story, even though she's not Catwoman because she wasn't alive at this time. So I don't know what that's all about. And yeah, so it's been very, very enjoyable. I'm really enjoying it. It's really well written. I'm liking seeing the mystery unfold. And Slam knocks Mr. Wayne out on his ass at the end of this issue because he had enough of his shit talk. They go to a graveyard where apparently the kid was supposed to be, that they were supposed to be grabbing him after they gave up the ransom money, even though Slam told them not to, play into their games, and he refused, and then he ended up going there and there's no kid there. So they're really getting the runaround in this whole thing so far. So I gave it a 4.25. I really enjoyed it. I'm liking it. It's really tightly written, and it's only a 6-issue miniseries, so I've been really enjoying it. I think Tom King does these mystery things, these detective type stories, just like he's doing over in Human Target, really, really well. So
Nice.
yeah. Next up, you got Dark Knights of Steel #8.
Oof.
Return of Dark Knights of Steel from it feels like months since this last came out.
Yeah, I read this one online too. I didn't realize I didn't get the issue yesterday when I was kind of looking through my stuff today. I realized I didn't have it, but whoa, what a read though!
Yeah.
I thought it was another great issue. Got Harley trying to mediate before war. Doesn't go so well. I got the Joker Lantern. He's back in the picture. And, during the story, I almost start feeling sympathetic to the House of L there. Maybe you got them all wrong. Maybe not. Maybe there's other forces at play that make things look bad. But that ending, like pow, what an ending! That just free. I don't want to say I thought the story was ho hum. There's a lot of big things going on with Ivy kind of coming in there. But that ending that's another one of those endings where it just ramps, the rating right through the roof.
So do you think I should not reveal the art on that scene?
That's up to you. I don't think it's a big ending or a big reveal, but
yeah,
I thought it was great.
I'll steer clear because I was curious about that one. I have it prepared here, but I won't show that page. I really liked this scene too, the introduction of Black Canary, Green Arrow.
Yeah.
That was great. Like I really liked that, where she's like, she's telling him, like, she had something on her mouth where she couldn't scream, and she explains to him the power that she has. And Green Arrow is just like, well, if you need help directing your voice, I can help you there. Because he's kind of like, he's like flicking coins. Like, again, he's just like a sharpshooter type of character.
Yeah, I think like what Oliver Queen or whatever, Green Arrow and Black Canary, they're like the DC couple.
Oh yeah,
I might have got this because that Dark Crisis one, the Green Arrow Dark Crisis, basically was all about all their different, ways they've gotten together. Everywhere they go, they always end up together. And I thought that was a great few panels with them in there too. And hopefully they got some big stuff going on.
I will say I love this issue too. I agree with you. The fact that now all the families are kind of together and, like, you know what I mean? There's the war is essentially started between all of them. It's getting messy now. There's a lot of deceptions and a lot of kind of people going off against one another. And like you said, big surprises and things like that happening. People switching sides. I mean, listen, I'm loving it too, just because I finished watching House of the Dragon recently on Game of Thrones. And again, it's hard not to compare this book to Game of Thrones because it is Game of Thrones.
It's got that vibe.
Yeah, it's Game of Thrones in the DC universe, but I love it, man. The art's great. I also really liked what do you call it? The scene with the Joker finally, the green what everyone thought was Green Lantern. Like they were teasing this whole Green Warrior guy for a while now. Like, we found out it was a Joker a while ago, but like we didn't know if it was like at first just Green Lantern, but it turns out it was like an amalgamation of the Joker with like the ring, and essentially, right? Like and then there was a Green Arrow, as we know, that's in prison now. So like they were kind of really playing around. Like there's still characters showing up in this that I find that are interesting versions of these characters. I feel like other Elseworld books have never, like, you know what I mean? Like gotten around to, like, the whole thing with the Etrigan being the Ra's al Ghul and all that kind of stuff. Like I really dig the mixes of characters. Like they're taking some parts of some characters and mixing them with others and making these new versions of them, right? That makes sense for this world. So I love it. Like I love the inventiveness of the characters in this. And I will say my one bad thing, my one criticism about this issue, the delays are hurting me in the sense that I got lost a couple of times and I couldn't remember who's all related to.
Yeah.
I think that if it wasn't so delayed, this book, it would be a lot better of a read, because there were certain points where I was just like, I wasn't sure of a couple of things and I kind of just went with it. But I think if it did come out on time, I think it would be a lot better for this title. I think that when the collection comes out of this is going to be a really good read to sit down and read all together, like in a heart.
Definitely, yeah.
So
each issue wants you waiting for more. They got that whatever you want to call it, the cliffhanger at the end of each issue really freaking pulls you in.
Yeah, and this is right before it, and I will remove that now. Not gonna spoil it, but man, yeah, this was one of those issues for sure. That was a great, a major twist at the end, and it should be interesting to see what happens moving forward. Now, I'm looking forward to the next one. I hope the rest of these issues come out on time because this is what 8 of 12. So I'm hoping they
Yeah,
had banked up now where they can come out on a
yeah,
monthly.
at least monthly. I hope.
I hope so because like I feel like I think it's hurting the book in a way, like in that sense, right? But so what'd you give this one?
Yeah, I'll give it a 4.75,
Wow.
4.5.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5 as well. Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
did
or
like it. That was a
again,
good
I'm
one.
only giving it a 4.5 because of what I said though, because I think that the timing of this book hasn't come out in a while. Like if I knew, if I didn't get like, if I wasn't scratching my head at a couple of scenes, it probably was close to a 5 for me this week. That's how
Yeah.
good this was. Yeah, so there you go. And then next up we got Punisher number 7. 7 of 12. I think this is, it said like season 2 or some shit like that, part 2 at the start of this one. So I think it was originally supposed to be a 12 issue series, this Punisher run. So what you think of this, Chris?
Well, that stuff with Punisher and Daredevil, whenever they're together, that's a 5 comic all day. Unfortunately, it was only freaking like what 5 panels, and the rest of all this stuff with him in his back life when he got back from war. It's just killing me. All that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the reason the Punisher became the Punisher is because he loved his wife, he loved his children. When they got taken away, that drove him to become the Punisher. And you see here, he didn't even freaking like his family. He should have been happy they died, but although minus that was nice seeing Ares march to war there too, trying to track him down. So that was good, but that there was just way too much of him coming back from war and being a jackass to his family.
I really wish they just made these 2 separate books, right? You know what I
Well,
mean?
because
Like,
nobody would buy the second one. That's why.
you know what? I got to say something though. I did like the stuff in this issue more than compared to the
More
stuff
than most, but
that I
still,
kid.
enough's enough already.
The kid stuff was the stuff I wasn't digging on. At least this makes a little bit more sense. Like I like this look into his life because like him coming back and being so disassociative and like
Yeah,
you said, and being so cold and not being able to like get along with his family or like have the PTSD or like miss the war so much. Like there's a lot of aspects of this character that I think that it is interesting that they're delving into, even though like these are things I feel like have already been somewhat established at this point in his life anyways. But I think we're seeing some stuff that they've never bothered to show of the Punisher. Is it necessary? Not really. I mean, like this
yeah,
is stuff again, I think I could have already assumed
yeah.
about
I
him.
want to see him freaking battle. What's his name, Daredevil, and have his eyes glowing like Stegman does.
That was awesome, man. The Daredevil, like you said, Daredevil and Punisher it is always the best where these two square off against one another.
Yeah,
And
and when you find out he's flying or something at the end, well,
yeah,
spoiler alert, but freaking that was great too.
they reference
The
that.
Punisher doesn't even know what's going on.
Well, he tries to like,
Oh, the spell. I like that one. It
yeah,
had me there for a bit. I go, oh, he's going to get him with this. And then he realizes, hey, man, it's not the beast, man. I like this.
yeah, because like Daredevil had this whole Shadowland thing in the past where he was running the hand and he had been taken over by it and he basically was evil, turned evil. This is like an event that happened like in the 2000s. So like that was what he was referring to during this fight, and then he takes the crucifix to like he's gonna like he's possessed or something, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I got a spell from Doctor Strange. He taught me a spell.
yeah,
Well, he
yeah.
had him on the ropes, but oops, nope.
You're right. This stuff was great. And yeah, I gotta point out my favorite scene of the book though, Chris, is post coital Punisher. I mean, like, what's going on here? Like, they literally cut off the right before you see his junk. They made sure that you knew that he just fucking banged his his dead or alive.
Yeah, it's even worse. It's crazy.
Oh man, it's so weird. Like, it literally seems like she's just like a fucking brain dead zombie that he's having sex with at this point.
Yeah,
She's like, "Oh, why do they call you the Punisher, dear?" And he's like putting his pants on.
yeah. It punished her.
I was just dying that they cut off the fucking panel here. Like, of course they are, but they really went for it. They're just like, yeah, we're gonna make sure that his dick's out in this scene.
Brutal, brutal, brutal.
See his hips,
Oh,
Oh
wow.
man, I got a kick out of that though. I'm just like, what's going on here? I was like, yeah, I get it, but like, it's dark, man. It's really weird. Like, he's just like that. She's a vegetable, and he's having sex with her.
Yeah.
Like,
And he knows that she is too. It's not like,
I'm like, they're not just sitting there naked, but it seems like every scene that they're like, that's literally all that's going on with her. Like, she tried to make a break for it during that one moment that
yeah, like she can't do anything. It's not like, I don't even want to talk about it. It's brutal.
It's weird. So what'd you give this then? It's hard.
It's hard. Like I said, that stuff with Daredevil, Punisher, 5 all day. The rest of that was like a 2. So I don't know. What does that bring me to? Like freaking 3.25. I'm taking it down. I don't care about that stuff with the Daredevil. This is probably the best Daredevil stuff too. Like, because his own comic isn't doing all that great.
Nah, man, I can't go that low. I'm giving it a 4. I didn't love that stuff either, but I'm not gonna penalize it for it because I like the other moments so much. I'm sticking with a 4 on this one. I agree with you though. It's not great, that other stuff, but I think it's better than the kids stuff. I think
it's better than the kid stuff. That was brutal too.
Yeah, that was more for me. You knew I was bitching about that all day when that happened, but I still like it though. The main storyline's good. Like, I'm digging it still. So yeah, let's see.
Well, we only got like an issue with the main story. If they did cut this into 2 stories, this would be like the second issue now.
Yeah,
but
anyway. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Next up, Captain Marvel 43.
Captain Marvel 43. This might be on one of the comics that I read but not buy in the near future. But it's still a fun issue. That the issue starts out with a distress call there. Well, you got Binary in trouble. Then you get a distress call from, what's her name, Rogue. You got Captain Marvel there, and that's Jim Rhodes, I think, the War Machine. Yep. I didn't know they were an item, but they're planning to do a hike. I don't know where that came from out of the blue. That's the first time I've seen anything like that.
For a while now, they have been.
Oh, yeah. They have been? Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Maybe I just missed it.
I'm surprised they don't talk about it more in this book, being it as her book. Yeah, they have been for a while.
Well, she's been on her trials and all that sort of stuff, Judgment Day and all that sort of business. But anyways, Rogue sends us. Look at that Jack Cyclops, though. But did he go on a program or something?
I was gonna ask you about this. I'm glad you caught that. I was putting the art together, and I'm like, otherwise I wouldn't put this page up because it's not that interesting. But I'm like, why does he look so fucking weird?
He's got no neck. Like, what? Is this from?
It's the stance.
What's that guy's name? Almost like that Captain America picture.
Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, the Rob Liefeld School of Art.
Why is he standing like that?
And it's just like a casual, like, oh, hey, how you doing? Come on in. Come inside. But anyways, it's all good stuff in here. You got Captain Marvel interacting with the X-Men. They all jump in a spaceship to go find Rogue. She's trapped out in space somewhere. You got the Brood showing up. And, they put it together the team. All the characters in the team are great. You got Spider-Woman. You got Cyclops. Got a whole bunch of them coming together. All characters I like. So it was a fun read. And at the end, no spoiler alert. Well, there you go. Boom. Rogue has been, I don't know, assimilated by the Brood or whatever. So big trouble ahead. I'm down for it. It's a fun comic book story too. Nothing crazy, nothing too deep, and just some good characters. Getting into mischief. I'd give this. The more I talk about, the more I like it. I'd give it a 3.75.
Nice. Yeah, it looks good, except for the pose.
That's for the fun.
Yeah, I liked it, man. I didn't even read it. I was putting the art together. I was like, that's awesome. All right. Next up, Old Dog number 2. Something that wasn't as awesome. I really disliked the first issue as much as I like Declan Shalvey's art and more, and writing for the most part now, because he's been writing a lot more books and other things that I've read and I've liked by him. But this first issue was very confusing. I just wasn't put together well, which is weird because he did everything. He drew it and he wrote it. So like I would have thought that, the pacing of it was off. Anyways, This was better this issue than the first issue, because this is kind of what now we're kind of getting into what I thought this book was going to be. It was just going to be like an old grizzled like CIA agent kind of guy, like do it like running missions, and that's basically what happened in this issue. Like it's kind of like, you know, James Bondish, and this is an extraction mission that he's part of in this, but by the end of it, it's like a nice one and done, where the person that he actually went to extract was somebody that, unbeknownst to him, was somebody that they were trying to kill. So he's up in the helicopter with this person he just fucking risked his life for, trying to save. And then the other agent that came along with him, that I guess he's taking orders from, basically throws the person out the fucking helicopter, and they injected him with some sort of needle of something, and he basically just like dissolved like midair essentially. And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, I just extract that person. He's like, yeah. The point was, yeah, like, see, you could see in the art here, he's like, I don't know, he's like turning to mush, like his whole body is just like dissolving through the air. So that was kind of cool. So yeah, I think if it's one and done mission type stuff like this with Declan Shalvey drawing it, I'm here for it. I've already dropped this, but I think I've pre-ordered the next couple of issues already, so I might revisit it and trade paperback. But the first issue was just confusing. I still don't understand like what happened to him and why. Like, it's called Old Dog because he's now really old, but then at certain points he like turns young again. That whole thing, like the whole setup of this, I don't understand, and it wasn't really present in this issue, so it didn't really affect my enjoyment of it. But I think they should just fucking ditch that whole thing. I don't know why like that matters. Just give me old CIA man agent missions, right? Like that's all I want. That's all I'm looking for from this book. So I gave this a 3.5. I thought it was better, and I would read more if it continues like this and steers away from that whatever mess of a storyline that the book started out on. And then Hulk number 10. Speaking of mess of a storyline, I don't know about you, Chris. Jeez.
Let's see, what are they right here? Not the greatest issue.
No.
I don't know. Just a lot of explaining about that Hulk planet and how it got to be. I guess it's back from when they had that Spider Hulk and all those Hulks that he just kind of vanished to some area. That's where they all ended up. And time runs different. And what's been maybe a couple months for Hulk there has been lifetimes for all those people on the planet, or all those Hulks, or I don't know what's going on there. I don't really care either. And then, whoa, the big reveal at the end. Yeah, spoiler warning here again. Is what, he's got brain cancer or something? Yeah, of course he's going to beat it. Big deal. That's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I was optimistic going into this storyline last issue. I quite enjoyed it. I think more than you did even. And then because they had like that whole thing with the like him like it was like Star Trek. He was talking to all of his own self.
Yeah.
on the Enterprise.
With that door that he couldn't lift, he said it was heavy, and then this monolith heavy. What does that mean? Like, does that mean they're all like freaking like he's not the strongest there is there? I don't know what's going on, but
that, and then yeah, when they got into this particular issue though, yeah, there you go. There's the brain cancer though. It wasn't that great. I didn't like this all that much. Like you said, it's kind of telling you a story about a bunch of stuff that I found not as interesting as everything else this book has been doing prior to this. And
seems like there's some mystery in the background because they're like, oh, don't ask him about this or you can't say that. But unless that mystery is like freaking awesome, which I don't think so.
I mean,
we'll see how it goes.
Brain tumor thing could be interesting. I don't know, but I mean, like, I liked this book better when it was weird and like kind of different than most Hulk books though. And I know that started off, we were, when the book started off, we were like, this is an odd book, but like it kind of grew on us. I feel like,
and then it's wearing off, I guess.
Yeah, and then it went into the Hulk Thor war where I'm like, okay. And then coming out of that, it just hasn't been the same, I feel like, book. And I don't know again if that's has anything to do with Donny Cates' involvement in this title, maybe because it seems like he's taken a break on some of the other things he's been writing. So I don't know if that has something to do with it behind the scenes, if it's affecting the quality of it. But I not reading into any of that stuff because we don't know what's going on. I would say this was one of the weakest issues of the series so far.
Yeah.
I was just, it's not an interesting story. So I don't know. I hope that it's just in a long arc, let's say. If it's
that's what I hope so too. And
so
3.5, whatever.
3.25 for me, and
Yeah.
well, even close to a 3, quite honestly. But I thought I'll give it 3.25 for the art. I thought Ryan Otley still drew a great issue.
Yeah.
It just wasn't that the
Well, I
story.
like the callback that they bring it back to some of the stuff that happened in the earlier issues, but I don't
Yeah,
really care.
yeah. No, I'm with you. All right, next up we got Avengers Forever number 10. Which I actually joined you on reading this time. I read it digitally. Nice. So
There we go. So we got
you go ahead.
what do we have here? Avengers. Got it written down somewhere. Well, anyways, we got the whole bunch of freaking drunk Tony Starks everywhere he goes. All the Tony Stark variants are all boozers except one. And I guess that one kind of old man Stark that dies and says, "Oh, just promise me you'll be here to fix things." That inspires him to gather all the drunk Tony Starks and freaking start AA meetings. This is good stuff here where they kind of just recap all the other people they picked up. I thought I liked that, but that's not really part of the story. And the rest is just seeing all these freaking wasted Tony Starks.
I loved it. I'll show you the panel of the week for me right here. Is this one where he's drooling? He's like hammered and he fucking crashes and kills himself.
Like, this would be nice if this was the first time this happened, but this has been 10 issues of them going through all these variants already, so that's getting old. And bring it on. Let's go. Let's turn the all writer and let's get the story moving with him against the Battle of Mephistos or the Doom or whoever they're trying to fight here. Let's get stuff going.
Yeah, and this the one that I guess they end up choosing ultimately at the end of here is like the Ant-Man Tony Stark, essentially. Like that's
Well, he's the one he's trying to bring everybody. He brings back all the Starks there to the AA meetings. They don't really choose anybody as the Stark Prime.
The narration at the end of it says that the one that they wanted all along turned out to be the smallest of them all, essentially, which is I
guess, yeah, who cares, yeah.
I think the Ant-Man Iron Man is going to be the one that they go with in this Avengers showdown, essentially.
Well, I guess they could bring the whole army of them if they're all sober, I guess.
Right.
So you can have like a little Ant-Man or a Tony Stark army. And there's some nice ones in there, like that one giant one that was with the AI.
Yeah.
And everybody else. But like I say, as for one of the variant stories, this wasn't one of the strongest ones. Or maybe just because it's, if they did this earlier, it might have been more impactful. And then the later ones would have been blah, but it's just getting blah. I just want to get on with the story.
Yeah, you've seen the trick so many times.
Yeah.
For me, just coming in, because I've only read a couple of these Avengers Forever, I enjoyed it for what it was. But, like I agree with you in the sense it wasn't the strongest. I did love seeing hammered Tony Stark flying through the air.
It's fun stuff, but
yeah, I mean, anyways, what'd you give it?
I'll give it a 3.5.
Same.
I'd say it's good stuff.
All right, next up, Deadpool number 1, a Deadpool relaunch. It's been a long time actually since the Deadpool book. I feel like years and years ago, like prior to the movie, there was like multiple Deadpool books on their shelves, and they've really done a good job over time, kind of making that not the case anymore. But he does have another movie coming out soon, so with our pal Wolverine. So I wouldn't be surprised if you get some Wolverine Deadpool action soon, right? So what'd you think of this?
Well, this is one of my first Deadpool stories that's starring Deadpool.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. I kind of felt bad that I was looking forward to all this Doc Ock action and him trying to track him down. And most of the story was him being captured and infected with the Carnage or the symbiote and him escaping. So that was a bit of a swerve that I wasn't expecting, and I didn't care for all that much. I want to see him fight Doc Ock. I like Doc Ock, and we'll see where this goes. But the talk, I like the dialogue is still fun. It's not over the top crazy, and it's just Deadpool. And I read this, and I don't hear like Ryan Reynolds' voice in my head when I read it. So I like that. I still feel like it's Deadpool.
This page here is like the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Here.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is. He's literally doing the same thing in that meme, that the GIF that everyone uses on the internet of him like with like the crazy strings everywhere.
Yeah.
I laughed while putting the art together. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So what did you give this one then, Chris? You thought this was good?
I'll give it a 3.75. There could be some interesting stuff with like some because they're trying to grow a Carnage or out of inside Deadpool, like this character here. I don't know who she is. She's got some biofission and biofusion powers, and she found a piece of the symbiote that she's been trying to grow in everybody, but it's killing everybody. So I think Deadpool's healing powers might help it thrive. And I just want to see him freaking try and take down Doc Ock, but he wants to join some elite group of mercenaries or assassins, and they give him 2 days to kill Doc Ock. By the time he escapes, he only has 2 hours left to try and finish the mission. So I'll see where things go next issue, and I'll still probably buy this one for now.
Nice. So next up we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures #2. Long title. Yeah, this is the last one I pre-ordered of this. This is a 4-issue miniseries. I really disliked the first issue. I will say I liked this one better a tad bit. I wish they started out with this issue as opposed to the last one, which was just the Turtles putting like virtual reality goggles on and then playing through a bunch of scenarios where they're in video games. I'm like, I felt like a weird first issue because not only were they just like focusing on the Turtles, I was like, maybe wait till later on to incorporate some like one of those weird cartoon type scenarios in an issue. Maybe like bring back all the classic characters first from the cartoon like they did in this issue. So I felt like it was weird their placement of that issue being the first one and this one being the second one. I would have definitely made this the first issue of the miniseries, even though every single one's a one and done story. I mean, this one's got everything. It's got Shredder, it's got Krang. I'm thinking of Marvel now. Krang, and it's got Bebop and Rocksteady. Like this is what I wanted to see when I thought they were going to do a cartoon comic based on the cartoon. So it has the blimp, the stupid fucking they even mentioned how stupid it is in here, and there actually was a lot of tongue-in-cheek jokes. I feel like that not only felt reminiscent of the cheesiness of the cartoon, but also like kind of hinting at the fact that they're making fun of the things that were part of the cartoon. Like they're like, oh, this, I don't believe we use this thing. Like, where's the van that we normally use? Or they're like, it's in the shop or whatever. And they're and then they put this into hyperdrive or whatever. But again, this was a stupid idea that they floated around on this thing in the cartoon. So I kind of enjoyed that part of it. I was like, I wish this was more like what the first issue was, and maybe I would have stuck with it, but it wasn't, unfortunately. So, I mean, like I said, dropped. Not the biggest loss in the world for me. It was fine. I gave it a 3.25. But again, I think that they should have started out with this issue because this reminded me more so of the cartoon than the first one. I don't know what the hell that was. I don't know if there was a virtual reality episode that I just don't remember, or they're trying to tap into the kids that remember the video games fondly of the Turtles or something. But it just didn't work for me, that first issue. While this one I think gave me a little bit more that I was looking forward to. So, yeah. Next up, X-Men Red #8. Sorry, I don't have the art for it, guys, but yeah, Chris.
No worries, not missing anything. They don't mention anything what happened in Judgment Day. The whole planet's been freaking blown to hell. Oh, don't worry about that. We're gonna go talk with some diplomatic conference there between the Skrulls, the Kree, and the Shi'ar Empire. For whatever reason, I don't know, and I don't care. Garbage.
Is Magneto still dead?
Well, who knows? I'd imagine so. The only reference they have it is on the pages where they kind of talk about what's going on.
Yes.
Like, the white page there, Magneto dead and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to have to read this to figure out why they are where they are, and there's some diplomatic zone. And it just retcons a lot of the stuff between the Kree and the Skrulls War. And perhaps the Shi'ar Empire has been behind it, kind of pulling strings. And the Shi'ar Empire is trying to see what they can do to make amends. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just don't even like them retconning the Skrulls and the Kree, making them either good or bad. I just like them going the Skrulls were bad and the Kree were good, but things have changed, I guess, in the world.
Yeah.
I give it a 3. This is one of the ones I dropped. I had Cable on the issue. I thought that might be something Cable's like a freaking ho-hum character. This guy used to be badass. Now he's nothing.
Is this the young Cable?
I guess. I don't know. He's still got white hair, but
yeah,
it's not Cable from from Pouches and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is the young Cable. A younger version of him came back and became like part of the status quo a little while ago. And that was one of the only things for whatever reason they didn't actually change when Hickman took over, because that was something that happened previous to the Hickman era.
Yeah,
They ended up keeping him around during that period of time. I think the older Cable is kind of floating around out there too as well, but there is a younger version of him out there that people don't love as much. He had a solo series at the start of the Hickman era.
yeah,
Anyways, I dropped it, so I'm glad that it's not that great still, because not that great now, because
yeah,
I jumped shit after Magneto died. I was like, Magneto's not in this book.
yeah.
It turned into a
That
story.
this end of the series right there would have been like a high point for
Yeah,
the series. You know, like
yeah, I agree. I
but
mean,
I know with Abigail Brand, she's at the end saying, "Ah, checkmate." Like she's got some master plan going on about people I don't care about. So
I'm out. I'm out. Yeah.
yeah.
Savage Avengers number 7.
Hold on a second. Let's get my issue out here. Oof. There we got more fun and frivolity in the 2029 timeline. What did I write about these guys here? Yeah, Ultron is trying to track down the Savage Avengers, and they battle that Deathlock. I thought that was some fun stuff, some good battle. I think it was some cyberspace, and to get to their goal, which I didn't know what their goal was, but at the end, when you find out what their goal is, I thought that was another great ending. You know, that's what's good about these Elseworld ones. Like even comparing to Dark Knights of Steel, they can drop big characters in everywhere, and it's just like yes, it's great. Like it's not as great as Dark Knights of Steel. It's still fun, but I like seeing these guys come out.
Yeah,
And well, I could say nobody's reading this one anyways. You got Doom coming in at the end, and he's like, he's been trapped by Ultron. So if they set him free, we're gonna have a Doom versus Ultron battle, and I'm all for that.
yeah, you had a MODOK in this. You had Doom 2099, which I love. Doom 2099. As you know, I've been struggling with this book, whether or not I continue reading it. I'm reading it digitally now. I've dropped it in issues, but they keep, like you said, they keep throwing in elements by the end of the issue where it kind of gets me to stick around one more issue. But I don't know. I still don't love it. I think it's fine, but it's one of those things where, like I said, it has a lot of things that I tend to enjoy in it, going for it.
Yeah,
It's just not all working together for me for whatever reason.
I think it's definitely one to read. Like, are these going to become fucking some spec issues? I don't think so.
No.
So this is probably going to be one of the January ones where it's one I'll keep on reading, but I probably won't be buying.
Yeah. So what'd you give this one?
I gave it a 3.75. I like the story. I like seeing, Doom at the end there. And, you don't really see Doom in the main continuity anywhere anymore. So,
Right.
we'll see.
I'm going to give it 3.25. Again, it's still not working great for me. I might not even read it digitally anymore. I don't know. I'm on the fence, like, majorly about it, because like you said, the end of every issue, I'm like, that was fine. And then they do something where like Punisher 2099 shows up or Doom 2099 shows up, and they keep getting me where I'm like, oh, okay, I'll see. I'll look.
Well, I think they're going to stay in this 2099 land like they don't wear out their welcome in these.
Oh.
If it's just 3 or 4 issues in 2099, they get zapped somewhere else. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. Then lastly, this week we have She-Hulk number 7, I read as well. Nice cover. Yeah.
That's it. She-Hulk and Jack of Hearts there getting a little spicy. I thought this was like a heavy metal magazine there for a few scenes. We're there, that one there at the bottom. Is there something like daylight there? Is that all tongue action or something there?
And then there was the scene where he's like, I want my shirt back. She's like, okay. And she goes to like lift it, and then like it cuts. Like, whoa.
It's a commercial.
Yeah, that was good.
And then you had Jen looking to get some new clients. I thought that was some fun stuff with that Doombot. Or the swerve again. Once in the previews, you see that Doom was going to be showing up at his door as a new client. So I was interested for that, but then it turns out to be some Doombot, and I thought it was a fun play on things. Like, he's always just saying "I am Doom," and that's why they're trying to try him for Doom's crimes. And I think near the end, he reveals that he knows he's not Doom, but he still just can't stop saying it and just getting into all kinds of trouble.
Yeah.
And then the third, or the ending of the story there, where Jen's trying to, I don't know how she runs into these people at the end, but she ends up in dire straits there.
Yeah. So a couple of things I want to mention about this. So Rainbow Rowell, the writer of this book, she used to write the Runaways for Marvel, the series previous to this. That's where Victor Mancha is part of. And I read that series and I loved it. I love her Runaways. And in that book, the Doctor Doom, the Doombot, is part of that book as well. And he's a character in that. So the fact that she brought them back into this book that she's writing now, I absolutely, and you didn't need to know that, Chris, but like,
Yeah.
enjoy it. But like for me, who's read that stuff of hers, I was like, yes, because I love this character, the Doombot character, and Victor Mancha from the Runaways, and also that was part of a short-lived series called Avengers AI, which he mentioned in this, which was only like 10 issues, which is awesome though, and it's all like robot adventures. Is Victor Mancha is made from like Ultron, essentially. Like that's his father, essentially, in a way. Like he's made from parts or like the memory of Ultron. So like he was always a character on the Runaways that they think is gonna become evil one day because of the fact that he's got Ultron in him, essentially. And I just him with that other robot that works in her office, the or whatever, and the fact that they're all three of them are sitting there, and she's like, I can't believe I just gave coffee to these three robots or whatever. It was just, I loved this issue. This was just a lot. It was just delightful for me. Like I was even more fun because of the fact that she brought all these characters back that I love. Right. So I was through the roof on this one. I absolutely, I probably love this book more than I had to this issue because of that. I was like, that is great. But these characters are weird at the end that like she gets into this trouble with this weird.
Yeah, I think she ran into them a few issues ago, and I don't know why she was at their door trying to find them, but they seem to be a lot stronger than she thought.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know
Yeah, I
what.
don't know what's going on down there. So a little mystery for the next issue, but they didn't even need that. They could have taken those 3 pages out at the end. I thought it'd be better comic without that stuff in there than with it.
I agree. They could have just ended it after that whole interaction between the Doombot and everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. So what'd you give this one?
I was giving it a 4. I liked it. That's good.
Same, 4, solid 4. I just read the first trade paperback, so I'm kind of caught up on it. I'm this might be something I continue reading online as well, just because, and still pick up the trades because I just really like it a lot. It's a great series, guys. It is a sweet spot in tone that I think a lot of Marvel books and just comics period are not doing right now. It's
definitely.
Yeah, it really is great. So all right. So Chris, what are we picking up next week?
Oh, next week, let's see. We got Dark Crisis 6. I got the Death of Superman, the 30th anniversary issue. Freaking didn't know that was gonna be like $10 or $12, whatever it's gonna be, but I'm getting it. I got the Wildcats. I think there's a nice variant cover I wanted. We got the Axe Omega, Fantastic Four #1, Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 13, Avengers 62, and Venom 13.
Nice.
What we got going?
Yeah, I got another moderate sized week. I mean, I think this week with the stuff I read online, it was about 10 books. 8 to 10 books is my sweet spot, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a nice one.
I'm going to strive to try to have it. I mean, it's hard to tell when you're pre-ordering ahead, but if I can get it between 8 and 10 books a week, I think that's kind of like the amount I like reading, to be honest. When it gets into like 14, 15 books, it's too many in a week. Like, so like if we are able to cut down anywhere close to that, then I'll be happy, but we'll see what ends up happening. Sometimes everything comes out at once, unfortunately,
Yeah.
right? It's just how it goes, right? So, hold on. Sorry. I'm just loading up my list right here. So,
oh, you got it? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. I still loading.
No, I was going to say I have some honorable mentions there. I did read, I think, Cherish #1. It's from Dynamite. And there's another one, Red Sonja versus Draculina. No, not Red Sonja versus Vampirella. That was a pretty decent one. I had no expectations going into that. Every time you get into those stories, you never know which Vampirella you're going to get or which Red Sonja you're going to get. That's something to check out if you got
okay.
If you read it online, let's say.
Yeah, Dynamite. You said Vampirella versus Draculina?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't think I heard you mention this one. I think this is one you read online, so maybe you might want to check. Batman versus Robin 3 comes out next week.
Okay, yeah, I'll probably read that online. I don't think I'm buying it though.
Dark Crisis #6. Amazing Spider-Man 13, Axe Judgment Day Omega #1.
Nah, not looking forward to that though.
No, Duo Powerbomb 6, Fantastic Four #1, Kaya 2, and Spider-Man 2 adjective list. That's it. 8 issues next week. That's not bad. It's a smaller week for me as well. So yeah, that's that, like this week, kind of moderate size week. So that's good. Yeah, so there you go. That's what we are planning on picking up next week, guys. And now we get to the part where we tell you our favorite book of the week. I think I can guess it for both of us, to be honest with you. I think we're on the same page on this one.
I think it's a no-brainer.
Dark Knights of
Dark Knights of Steel, for sure.
Yeah, Dark Knights of Steel #8 for
Glad
sure.
it's back, and I'm glad it's still good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, on both counts. Yeah, I just hope that it doesn't get delayed again for the remainder of the run, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I feel that they have enough room and they've built up enough characters at this point that even by the end of this 12 issues, if they wanted to come back with the Dark Knights of Steel 2 or something, they can do it, and I'd be in.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel about the series. I think it's been very enjoyable.
Well, they got some more surprises up their sleeve too, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this week. Then our 50th episode. Once again, yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, 50. So we'll see you guys next week here again. As always, make sure to check out the feeds, though. I've been updating some things, and we got all our playlists in there of all our different shows that we do here. Also, check back new episodes of Cracking Packs with the chat room in the playlist. You're probably going to see Chris on an episode of that in another week or two as well, which is always a lot of fun. And we got maybe some other things planned moving into the new year as well that we'll have to let you guys know about. Oh, hold on. I think Chris is going to give you a little teaser right now, possibly. Here he is.
That's it. We got a pack here. This is last year's season 2. I think I'm looking for Mason McTavish in here. We'll see.
Yeah. So good luck to Chris on that. And make sure if you guys are into hockey cards or you just want to see us on another show here, to check that out. Cracking Packs of the chat. We got a whole playlist of episodes of that here on the channel. So, and make sure you're subscribed.
Get some better Young Guns than he did last time. The friggin' old man Young Gun.
That's right. That guy who's played like one season and then got booted out of the NHL. That looks like from the 60s.
It's the old man universe or something. This Young Gun here is some 50-year-old guy.
Yeah, that was funny. That was a good one. Yeah, I forgot the guy's name now. I thought I would never forget it, but now I have to go back and check that out. So anyways, all right, guys, we'll see you guys next week. And Chris, thank you as always to another 50
episode. Cheers. It's always fun.
Cheers. Yeah, to another 50. Later, guys.
All right.